Man, this is bad. Not one fight, but two fights. First, they said Shakur Stevenson finalized the deal to face Gervonta Davis. I made a video about it. The two fighters spoke up and said, fake news, as you guys see it on the screen. They said that is not accurate, which you notice I didn't report that the fight was finalized. I tell you, if you don't hear from Boxing Ego, you might not want to trust it. That's just what's happening in the sport of boxing. If you didn't hear it from me, you might not want to trust it. So Gervonta Davis, he's in Paris, and he took a couple seconds out to respond to it, and he said cap. That's basically what Shakur Stevenson said. So people were saying that there was a unification between Shakur and Gervonta Davis. He says this is fake. So both fighters have confirmed that there's not a finalized fight. The crazy thing is, the very same day, there's a report that says that Shakur is going to fight William Zepeda, and they've agreed to fight. Right? So I seen people, they were getting excited and talking about the fight. So right then and there, you see a real issue. In the same exact day, you have one media outlet saying that Tank Davis, who's in Paris right now as an advisor and overseer of the Paris Olympics, you have a report saying that he's fighting Shakur Stevenson in a unification, right? Which we just went over. They said that's not true, right? Then the same day, a report comes out and says Shakur's fighting someone completely different from a different news entity, right? Now, boom. It says Shakur Stevenson and William Zepeda verbally agree on a matchup. Then the promoter of William Zepeda, a.k.a. Oscar De La Hoya, quote tweets the article, and he says, stop with the fake news. Boxing, I mean, we're not going to grow as a sport. You guys might as well just get used to that because of stuff like this. It's bad enough you have a lot of fans and everybody has an opinion in the sport of boxing, especially with the internet. But then now, even through media outlets, you have conflicting information. There's no way this is not confusing to boxing fans. No way. You wake up, one report says Tank Davis versus Shakur. People started engaging in conversations. Not me, because I know better. But I'm saying boxing fans. They start chattering, talking about Gervonta Davis. Oh, this is a great fight. Oh, I've always wanted to see this fight. Start hyping themselves up, getting excited. And then hours later, a completely different report that says Shakur is not fighting Tank, but fighting a Golden Boy fighter in William Zepeda. And then both in the same day, between the fighters and then now the promoter, Oscar De La Hoya, as I showed you, he says stop with the fake news. So this doesn't sound good for either of these rumors. So is there a chance that they fight? Possibly, but if everyone's denying it right now, what does that tell you? At best, they're not ready to announce the fight because there's no reason that either the fighters or the promoter would be denying the fight instead of just saying nothing if it were true. So at this point, it doesn't look to be true, meaning there could be conversations being had and negotiations, but it takes a lot more than that. It takes a lot more than that. And we have to see what it is going to be. And like I said, you guys, I've already told you on past videos, I'm really, at this point, I'm just going to blame the fans. Because when the bad actors in the sport put out bad information, if you continue to support, then that's on you, you know? It's on you. Me, I don't support nothing that's crazy. And see, this is the thing I don't like. Since I came in the game, this is very rare. But if ever I've been wrong about anything, I always correct it. The same people and the same platform I used to announce the news, I'll make sure to rectify that and clarify if ever the information is bad. Like, hey, my source told me this, X, Y, and Z. Come to find out it's not true. But that seldom happens on my team because I don't care about being first, right? I've been first announcing a lot of news in the past decade since I started. So when you're used to something, it no longer becomes, I know I do my job and I do my job well. So it no longer becomes really a thing. Like, I know I get the news out as quick as possible. But what I'm not in the business of is just putting out falsehoods and lies and libel and putting out stories, you know, just for clicks. That's the easy way. That's the chump way. Anybody could do that. I could clickbait y'all to death, but I'm sure my core audience who have not known me to overuse, yeah, of course you're going to get fancy with the titles to a degree, you know, and spice it up. But I'm not really talking about that. I'm talking about outright lies. And that's what we're seeing in boxing. Outright lies. People being so thirsty and eager to put out news. They don't care if it's right. They don't care if it's wrong. And a lot of times they won't even correct it if, in fact, it is wrong. So boxing looks stupid, in my opinion, with stuff like this. Is very confusing for a casual fan. Me, I'm an advanced watcher of the sport, and I'm in the sport. So I can sift through it and determine if it's like true or false. But I just feel bad for the casual fans because they're hearing that Shakur's fighting Tank, and then they're hearing Shakur's fighting Zepeda, and then people start parroting, and, you know, it becomes this echo chamber, people saying the same thing, and then come to find out neither are true, at least at the moment. So it's not even that serious. I'll wait for Shakur to announce who he's signing with. He's a free agent. I'll let him announce his next endeavor and wait for us to get something more concrete. It's not really a rush. I don't understand why boxing is in such a rush. Seems like people are in such a rush and they can't wait to be first, so they'll just put it out. You know, sometimes I can attest to this. I've been given information. I don't put out every piece of information that I get because my credibility actually matters. So I think everybody in boxing needs to pump their brakes, let these fights materialize. And then, you know, what's wrong with letting the promoter or the fighters announce their own fight? You know, break the news on something else. Like, let Tank announce his next endeavor and his next fight on his page, or Canelo or whoever. And that's what Canelo did. He said, hey, I'm fighting Edgar Berlanga. You know, we don't need a bunch of media. And again, I'm curious how much money or lack thereof some people in the media make through boxing, because the level of thirst is just crazy. Like me, all I have to do is talk boxing, and, you know, Boxing Ego can get paid. But some people are so thirsty for like the click that they seem like integrity doesn't matter. So again, Shakur, Tank, I'll let them announce it or wait for something to be and sound more concrete, because at this point it looks dumb.